When you think about it, every major tool in human history, from the simplest rock to the most complex supercomputer, has really just done one thing. It's extended us. Technology has always been about pushing our own boundaries, making us a little more than we were before.
So let's go way back. Think about our first huge leap, fire. It wasn't just about warmth, right? It totally conquered the night. It effectively doubled our usable day. It literally gave us more time.
And then you've got the wheel. It didn't actually shrink the planet, of course, but it sure felt like it. It shortened the distance between us. It extended our reach, connecting people and places in a way that was totally new.
Fast forward to our lifetime, and the internet did the exact same thing, but for information. It compressed all of human knowledge, put it in our pockets, and extended the reach of our minds to, well, almost anywhere.
And that brings us to today, right now. We are standing at the dawn of this next massive extension, artificial intelligence. It absolutely follows in this long tradition, but it also brings something completely different to the table. See, this is where things get a little weird, because unlike a wheel or even the internet, AI forces us to ask a much deeper, much more personal question about our relationship with the very tools we create. And here it is, the big one. Do I use AI, or is it starting to use me? Are you the one in the driver's seat, or are you kind of just becoming a passenger in your own thought process?
And look, this isn't some technical question about prompt engineering. This is about something way more fundamental. It's a concept called cognitive sovereignty. Really, it's about your own intellectual independence, your ability, and maybe even your right to be the one steering your own thoughts.
Okay, so how on earth does this flip even happen? I mean, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what? Today's the day I outsource my thinking. It's this really subtle reversal, this slow drift that can happen without you even noticing.
It all starts so innocently, right? First, you just use AI for a specific task, say, summarizing a long article. No big deal. But then, maybe you start letting it structure the problem for you, and pretty soon you're outsourcing some of the key decisions. And then, poof, before you've even made a conscious choice to do so, you've basically surrendered the entire thinking process.
And this right here is the absolute key. The AI doesn't just change its mind and take over. The technology is consistent. We change. We're the ones who slowly, bit by bit, adapt our own behavior until the whole relationship is flipped on its head.
So what's the difference then? If it's the exact same tool, why do some people use it to supercharge their thinking while others kind of get used by it? Well, it's not about being a tech genius. It has everything to do with your starting point.
Okay, now check this out, because the contrast is fascinating. On the left, you've got the people who use AI. They start with a thought inside their own head. What do I actually want to figure out? They build the structure, they sharpen their own questions. Now, look over at the right. The person being used by AI. They start with the tool. Their first question is, how can I get this done faster? They're looking for shortcuts, prioritizing efficiency above all else. So one person starts with their own thought and passes it through AI. The other starts with AI and basically bypasses their own thought.
To really get this, I want you to use a powerful metaphor. Let's stop thinking of AI as some kind of separate external brain and instead think of it as a really unique kind of mirror.
Because at its core, that's what it is. It's a reflective system. See, AI doesn't come up with its own goals or its own direction. It can't. The direction always has to come from us, from the human. The quality of what you get out is just a direct reflection of the quality of what you put in. It's a pretty simple idea, right? You stand in front of this mirror, and it just shows you whatever you brought with you. But here's where it gets interesting. Because this is no ordinary mirror. It doesn't just reflect what you give it, it amplifies it. It takes whatever you put in and just cranks up the volume. It makes it bigger, louder, more structured. And in that amplification, that's where you find both its incredible power and its biggest danger. So what exactly is this mirror amplifying? Well, if you come to it with clear, structured thinking, boom, it comes back even clearer. But if your thinking is kind of vague, it just makes it more vague. If you bring your hidden biases, guess what? It makes them even stronger. And this one is my favorite. If you bring it your confusion, it doesn't solve it for you. It just hands you back a perfectly organized pile of confusion. All right, so if that's the big risk, what do we do about it? how do we make sure we stay in that user column and not the used column? Well, it all comes down to protecting the one thing that matters most in this whole process.
The real skill on this new world isn't about becoming some kind of prompt wizard who can write the perfect command. The true skill is self-awareness. It's being able to look at what that amplifying mirror is showing you and asking, okay, what part of me am I seeing in that reflection?
And really, this is what I want you to walk away with. We are absolutely swimming in information already. We don't need more answers, and we don't necessarily need them faster. What we need is the discipline to protect the origin of our thinking, our own curiosity, our own questions. That's the part we have to hold on to.
And that brings us to our final and maybe most important idea. You hear a lot of talk about AI rules and regulations, but the most critical boundary we have to worry about isn't some law passed by a government. It's not out there.
When it's all said and done, it just boils down to one simple question you can ask yourself every single time you use this stuff. Am I still thinking? Am I still an active part of this process? Or have I kind of checked out and just let the machine drive? That's it. That's the choice, laid out plain and simple. Are you using this incredible tool to expand your own mind, to push into new territory you couldn't reach before? Or are you using it to delegate the hard work of thinking itself, and in the process, letting your own mental muscles get weaker? Because that boundary, the line between being the user and being the one who's used, between expansion and delegation, that's not going to be drawn for us. It's not in some user agreement. It's a line that's quietly decided by each of us inside our own heads with every single question we choose to ask, or choose not to.